have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
It's time to buckle up for making sense of the madness.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and we often talk about technologies that are on the cusp of acceptance. They're on the cusp of people realizing that they are no longer science fiction. And we've often talked about the past with government programs under MK Ultra, Artichoke, Bluebird, MK Often, etc. But we delve less into the current realm of bio-nanotechnologies, certain types of spectral wave technologies, and how far they've really come, and what, if anything, is being done to stop their proliferation in modern-day warfare, whether it be nation states like the United States, China, and Russia, or maybe even corporate entities, or a combination of both. And there is a new academic paper out just this week. This is brand new. I really hope that not only do you see the alternative media pick this up, but as far as I can tell, I've only seen two mainstream publications pick up this Bradford University paper by Michael Crowley and Malcolm Dando, and it's the Guardian and the Daily Mail. Now, we're going to read the press release. We're going to show you these articles, and Dando and Crowley actually gave a presentation kind of in the warning sector, in the realm of, hey, these things really aren't going to be regulated and haven't been in a proper manner. Most people can't even grasp that it's going on, and there are all these loopholes for the United States and others to utilize this weaponry much like they have in the past with not only nuclear power, but biochemical warfare as well. So we're going to get right into this on Bradford University and this academic warning of modern day mind control. Again, this is Jason Bermas telling you. These are guys with some big time degrees, and we may do a watch along of this presentation that you see in front of you, this little partial presentation. We'll go to the full guy, and if you see right up here in the corner, you can see a little bit more of it. So over on the YouTube for anybody who wants to see it, there's Malcolm Dando right there. And they're talking about the framework for the proliferation of this stuff. But before we get into any of it, thumbs it up, subscribe, share. Look, we're doing our best right now to grow the channel, to put out more work than ever, but not just work for the sake of work, highlighting stories and issues that not only matter and go beyond that left-right paradigm, but stuff that you're not seeing from your favorite influencer or your favorite quote-unquote podcaster, right? So please consider supporting the broadcast, because I cannot do it without you. $5, $10, $15, big donors. There's also a PayPal down below. You see the scroll. Want to give a big shout out to Marigold Resources, marigoldresources.com. Buying or selling a business, please go check them out. My man McGreevy has you covered. He also runs the River City Reader, rcreader.com, if you want a independent media voice that's been around now since the 90s. And you can also give me a follow on X, where I get an embarrassing number of impressions per my following. I just did the numbers and asked the quote-unquote AI, and we might do a separate video on that. Bradford experts warn of rising neuro-weapon threat. Okay? So this is a new book out of the University of Bradford via these two academics that I was talking about. And they are urging urgent. Yes, we're double Uing. I'm not just saying that. Literally says that in the header. Their urges urgent global action to prevent the weaponization of neuroscience, which has already happened, as advances in AI and pharmacology create unprecedented risks to human cognition, behavior, and security. And it even references Soma at one point here, the old Brave New World drug. So a new publication by two University Bradford academics carries a stark warning about the emerging threat of chemical neuroweapons designed to attack or manipulate the human brain and central nervous system. It calls for urgent international action to prevent the misuse of neuroscience and associated life and chemical sciences. We got the Guardian article right here, by the way. You can check it out. Mind-altering brain weapons, no longer only science fiction, say researchers. And then we've got this one, scientists issue ominous warning over mind-altering brain weapons that can control your perception, memory, and behavior. But let's read it right from their university release. The book, Preventing Weaponization of CNS, or Central Nervous System, Acting Chemicals, a Holistic Arms Control Analysis, which is published by the Royal Society of Chemistry, was co-authored, like I said, by Michael Crowley and Malcolm Dando. I believe Crowley is the one on the left and Dando on the right. Okay? It explores how advances in neurosciences, pharmacology, and AI are converging to create a new frontier in warfare, the human mind. The authors argue that the ability to chemically attack or alter consciousness, perception, memory, or behavior is no longer the stuff of science fiction. Instead, it is real. It is a real and growing threat. One that existing arms control treaties are ill-equipped to address. We are entering an era where the brain itself could become a battlefield, says Dr. Crowley. The tools to manipulate the central nervous system, to sedate, confuse, or even coerce are becoming more precise, more accessible, and more attractive to states. You don't say. So from Cold War experiments to 21st century convergence, the book traces the history of state-sponsored research into central nervous system acting chemicals, from Cold War experiments by the CIA and the Soviet Union to more recent incidents such as the 2002 Moscow theater siege, where Russian forces used aerosolized fentanyl derivatives to incapacitate hostage takers and inadvertently killed over 120 hostages. And again, this is the stuff that we have documented and know about. While previous clandestine weapons programs often failed to produce reliable weapons due to limitations in knowledge and technology, the authors argue that today's scientific and technological landscape is very different. Advances in neuroscience, pharmacology, synthetic biology, AI and delivery mechanisms are enabling a level of precision and control that was previously unimaginable. Chapter 3 of the book, for example, explores how scientists are now mapping the brain's survival circuits, the neural pathways that govern fear, sleep, aggression, and decision-making. Understanding these circuits opens the door to potential manipulation, whether for therapeutic or hostile purposes. The same knowledge that helps us treat neurological disorders could be used to disrupt cognition, induce compliance, or even in the future turn people into unwitting agents, says Professor Dando. That's a dual... Oh, sorry about that. Oh, tell me that just... Man, see, my knuckles will just have to go to history. And let's see where we go. History, and bring it right back. What happened here? Are you kidding me? I guess we're going to have to type in Bradford University. Man, my big mitts got in the way. By the way, thumbs it up and subscribe and share. We're back. We've done it. Sorry about that, guys. So let's continue. That's the dual-use dilemma that we face. So a regulatory gray zone. And by the way, I don't like empowering the United Nations at all. These global forums are bad news brown. We talk about it all the time. But let's be honest, they don't really regulate anything anyway. It's a bunch of theater. Despite the potential again, no one's going to prison, right? We talked about this yesterday when we talked about the WHO and the climate agenda and people like Tedros or people like Fauci. No one's going to prison. Not going to jail. So, food for thought. Despite the potential for misuse, the authors argue the current international treaties, including the Biological and Toxin Weapons Convention and the Chemical Weapons Convention, contain loopholes, you don't say, and ambiguities, and are not being properly implemented when it comes to central nervous system acting agents. For example, while both treaties collectively prohibit the development and deployment of chemical and biological weapons, they allow use of certain chemicals in specific circumstances, notably law enforcement. This raises the danger that such exceptions could be exploited to justify the weaponization of CNS acting agents or incapacitating agents attacking other core physiological systems. There are dangerous regulatory gaps within and between these treaties, said Dr. Crowley. Unless they are closed, we fear certain stress may be emboldened to exploit them in dedicated CNS and broader incapacitating agent programs. Well, I got news for them. Sorry, already happening. So they're saying the call for holistic arms control. To address this, the authors propose a new framework, holistic control. Rather than relying solely on traditional arms control treaties, HAC integrates multiple layers of governance, including international human rights law, international humanitarian law, UN drug conventions, medical ethics, and the codes of conduct of scientific professional bodies. The book outlines practical steps that could be taken. Before we get in there, remember the UN and the science that they want you to trust. And that's my big issue. And like I said, when we talk about the proliferation of these type of weapons, bioweapons specifically, I haven't seen the slightest hint of real action. And it's not just from them, it's from right here in our supposed constitutional republic. So I just want to point that out. So these are the steps they're saying we should take. Establishing a dedicated working group on CNS acting and broader incapacitating agents within the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, the OPCW. Okay? And by the way, we talk about the Office of Proliferation of Chemical Weapons here before in regards to Syria. Updating treaty definitions and implementation guides, as well as strengthening monitoring and verification capabilities to reflect new scientific realities. Embedding dual sense awareness and ethics training in neuroscience and broader life and chemical science education. Encouraging scientists, and civil society to play a more active role in monitoring and promoting implementation of arms control treaties. Again, good luck on that one. They say that this is a wake-up call for the 21st century. The authors stress that their aim is not to stifle scientific progress, but to ensure it's guided by ethical and legal safeguards. They argue that the weaponization of neuroscience is not inevitable, but without action, it is increasingly likely. Again, I think they're late to the party here. This is awake, but how mass spread it is, it doesn't have to encompass all of our lives. A lot of us have acquiesced just to the type of drugs that people take for their quote-unquote mental health and beyond. We've talked about it many times here. So again, this is something you guys can read about. This is a new book. This is Bradford University. The two articles here are the Daily Mail and the Guardian. I hope you check them out. Like I said, folks, we're doing shorter videos. We're in, we're out, we're one subject. You want to support the broadcast? I need you now more than ever. The links are down below. Want to thank everybody. Doug E. Hauser, little Doogie joke right there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anonymous folks, thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, it is not about left or right. It is always about right and wrong. I absolutely love you guys. I will see you all on the flip side.